Hey guys, happy Thursday. And I don't know if you recognize this lady, Chaz. I'm so excited. We usually do our chit chats about every, I don't know, month or two.
Yeah, at least every
And
month.
today, yeah, and I love that we have the same energy and the same vibes and that we got to meet over social media and one day we'll meet in person and that's going to be a really fun day.
Did I tell you
But
that I'm gonna do a retreat down there one day, like in October?
in Cali,
Yeah.
oh, you have to tell me
We'll have
when
this
and where.
conversation later. Yes.
Yes, yes, I'm coming. Wherever it is, I'll make a trip. Um, but we always have really good topics that we start on, and I don't know if you've listened to any of our conversations. We like to kind of just wander into different directions, which is what I love because subjects can be correlated to so many different things, and that's where our conversation usually goes. So today I wanted to talk about goals and goal setting and how important it is and how you don't even need a business to have goals. Like you need to have goals throughout your life no matter what. Got to progress.
Yeah.
And it really sets in deep with me this week because we actually have a launch tonight. And if you're not on our launch and you're watching this, please DM me, send me a message, and I will get you over to the launch and you can see our webinar and get some details about the business. But today's purpose is just about goals. And so if I didn't have the goals for how many people I wanted to bring into my group tonight and how I wanted to be set up in all of my platforms for this launch tonight. For example, doing this live beforehand and having everything in place so that everything runs smoothly. If I didn't have goals with that in place, things would be hectic, nothing would flow evenly. And I used to be in that place. I used to be in the, oh my God, so many things to do. I don't know what to do. Da, 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 da. And you're constantly living in this, like, not fear, but like hurricane in your mind type of thing. And if you don't have goals and you're not, you know, organized with your things that you need to get done, it's going to feel hectic. It's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to feel like you're not accomplishing anything because you don't have a list of things to check off or in your mind, things to check off. It feels so accomplishing when you hit goals. So, we're going to discuss some goals today and starting with like the most important ones. Like when you get up every morning, do you brush your teeth, make your bed, feed the dogs, walk the dogs? Like those are goals. They might not be huge goals, but they're goals that are going to get you to maybe starting your day or moving through the motions of your day. Like everyone has goals, whether you want to classify it as goals or not, you still have goals.
Mhm. Right? I'm like, all of us really don't need anybody to tell us that we need to have goals. Like,
No.
we know we do. We know
Yes.
we want to have goals because it gives us that sense of accomplishment, right? And so we've got to remember at like why we're setting the goals in the first place and why that's important to us, right? So otherwise it's not going to be, we're not going to have the intentions, we're not going to do the follow through if it's just a lofty goal. It's just like New Year's resolutions. Like you can set all the New Year's
Mm,
resolutions that you want, but if it's not that important to you that you can't commit to it every day, then it's never going to happen. You're never going to accomplish your goals, right? And so I
right.
always like to say, like, you got to go back into like, yeah, we know you need to set goals, like mini goals, big goals, like mediocre goals, short term goals, long term goals, whatever. And a
Right.
lot of people that I know are like, goals don't work for me. It doesn't
Mm,
allow me to be creative and in flow, you know? But I'm going
so
like
true
on a
though.
tangent here
And
today.
but that's so true because they're so like I said, like you can have little goals or big goals. They all have to like equate to something in your life for a bigger goal. Like some people like in 5 years I want to own my own business and quit my job. Okay, that's your goal, but you're gonna have little goals that reach up to that. You're not just
Yeah.
gonna have the bam, this is my goal.
Right? So that's where I love this having like the vision, the purpose, the bigger goal, and then reverse engineering that. It's like, okay, what needs to happen in this year? What needs to happen in this year? And this is how you can create your life. And like if you have a business, really easily is by just reverse engineering because it all leads to this bigger thing, right? And
Oh,
you are part of that greater vision because sometimes it's not a big goal. It's not like really meaningful to me to like wake up in the morning and work out first thing. Maybe that's like it's not really that important to me in the moment. It's like important for me to sleep or to drink 3 pots of coffee. Maybe that's really important in the
Yeah.
morning. But when I tie it to the bigger picture of like, okay, actually, this is the morning is the best time for me to work out because I know I'm going to be busy for the rest of the day. And I know it's important for me to work out every day because it makes me feel good. It like expends my energy. It makes me feel more grounded and I feel strong and I feel powerful. And so that's like the bigger goal, right? So that's why I always ask,
Right.
like, why is it important to you to have that specific goal? You know, like if my goal is to work out every day, I'm just using the working out as a example. I gotta go do that yet today, but um, if it
Manifestation.
wasn't important for me to work out every day, I would never do it, right?
Right.
So yeah, but like the reverse engineering thing has really, really helped me. And then it's also helped me be like, oh my God, what's happening? Because I just realized, dude, is that like I had set a 5-year goal that like live on the beach 2024. And this is when my kids would be graduated. They're like out of the house, so I can go live on the beach.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, a couple years ago, I was like, holy crap, I'm halfway there, but I'm not halfway there. Like, oh my goodness, we gotta set some new goals to make sure that this happens, right? And so now it's like a
Right.
year away, and I'm just like, okay, what needs to happen in this year in order for my goal to manifest, you know? And so it's
Right.
like, hey, I got to do this, 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 and this. And because it's not just the goal of living on a beach, it's because it's the goal of being like out of my city, out of my house, freedom and flexibility to
New
travel,
environment.
right?
Right.
And
I love that.
so without that bigger goal, without that bigger purpose, it would just be a thing that it wouldn't become a priority, right?
Right.
And so,
Exactly.
right,
Which
you got to
boils
have that
down to our last
priority,
conversation when we talked about priorities and making sure that you only put your priorities first and you're not just doing things because you think it's going to get it to your goal. You have to make sure that you have priorities for each step of the way. Like, for example, your 5-year goal, you're now down to the 1 year. And now, do you feel like it's crunch time or do you feel like you're right on track? Like, there's obviously going to be some adjustments.
right? Because when we put time frames, this is what I have learned over my whole life with goal setting, because I really like checklists. I really
Mm,
like checking things off and feeling that sense of accomplishment. What has always been hard for me in my business, especially, is releasing the time frames. So even
mm,
yesterday I was in a program and it was about, okay, like we want these things to happen, but we got to let go of these time frames because we have no control over when these goals get actuated, you know?
I like that.
And
So
so
true.
because like I don't want to live in the pressure. So that's like a main priority of mine. So if like the time thing is adding the pressure where I'm going to then feel stressed, then it's not worth it, you know? Then
Mm-mm.
it's like that's not the right goal for me, or something needs to change so that, because I just believe that when we have pressure associated to goals that I don't know, that usually just it
You
doesn't
just
work. It
don't do
doesn't work
them.
for me. Even
Yeah,
though
I'm
like
the
a lot
same
of
way.
people say they like to work under pressure, like they like to work under
Hmm.
pressure because you don't know what it's like to work without pressure.
And some people work better under pressure too. Like I'll admit it, I do work better under pressure, but that boils down to me having goals and a checklist because it's like, oh my God, I haven't done 6 of my 10, and here I am halfway through the day. I better and
Right?
I do work better that way. But had I not had the goal list, I wouldn't know that I'm under pressure.
Yeah.
So it's like a give
Yeah.
and take. But I
Yeah.
noticed if I don't write like my actual goals, write them down so that I have something to check off, that accomplishment you never feel because you technically don't know what your goals are. They're just somewhere up here floating around.
Yeah. Right? So that's how I set goals, is like I set them and write them down like in my journal, in my phone, whatever, on a Google Doc, and write down goal. So like my goal for this year, this goal for the quarter, I like to set more quarterly goals than monthly goals, just to alleviate that pressure,
Right.
and but then it's like, yeah, reverse engineering. Okay, what do I need to do this? So if I want to get X amount of clients a month, okay, I'm going to have to reach out to this many people or connect with this many people. And so, okay, then that might seem really overwhelming if I have to connect with 100 different people in the next 3 months. But if I break it down where it's like one person a day,
Right.
and
Or
I connect
weekly.
with one person a day.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. And so therefore, then it's no pressure when you break it down. And that's where realistic goals come into play too, where it's like, oh, I want to get $1 million in the next 3 months. Oh fuck, do you actually believe that you're gonna like sell $833 a day to accomplish
Right.
that? Not
Right.
likely. I did not do the math on that. I literally please don't
Yeah,
come
it's
at me
roughly
for
around
doing the
there.
wrong math. Okay, y'all.
But you're 100% true, because we do some reverse engineering in our business too, and I actually know my numbers too, and that's so important when you're in a business, when you're doing anything in life. You need to know your numbers. You need to know, because that's going to help you set your goals. For example,
Yep.
I know that I need to make 26 conversations a day in order to have a certain amount of people that come into my business platform, or that come into my webinar that we do every night, which is tonight. But I know my numbers, and if I know my numbers and I don't meet my daily numbers, I know that my monthly is not gonna be what I should have, because I
Right?
didn't hit my daily numbers.
And this is a fantastic conversation because it's very relevant right now because um so many people don't like that. Or if somebody cold DMs them or somebody reaches out to them, they are like freaking the freak out, and like, how dare you send me a DM saying have a good day, hope you're having a great day. Like, I'm like, you guys need to chill the F out a little bit and just like keep social media as social media. It's social. Like, get over
Yes.
it,
I'm so glad
right?
you said that. That's so true.
But like
Oh,
people have been burned, like people like to keep social. And so there's this place of like reaching out to 26 people every single day and just being like, I'm going to add friend and then send them my pitch right away. And that doesn't necessarily work very well. But if you send them 26 messages to be like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Like,
right.
like, are you how's your water tasting lately? You know,
Yeah.
like starting an actual conversation with people, it just develops more of a response. And so then your sales numbers go up when you're developing
Right.
relationships. And that's all part of marketing, right? But
Yep.
the work that I'm doing for a client right now is responding to all the cold DMs that she sends out. Well, another team member. And so I get all these all the time. But women in business, like, have this misconception that I'm just going to start my business and don't actually have to do the things. Like, numbers still mean things, right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, we still have goals because that's why you started your business. You want to make X amount of money so that you can do this, right? And so
Right.
then, like, that's why here as the business coaches and leaders, we're like, okay, if you want to make that kind of money, you actually have to do this sort of work, like you
Right.
actually have to post every day. You actually have to reach out to people every day. Like, so, and you can still manifest those things because there's like this mix of like goal setting and manifestation. Um,
Well, there's
but
also
they're
another
so
piece to it that
similar, but people like to keep them so separate, but yet the process is exactly the same, like,
right. Well, and for example, like, there's different ways of doing things as well, because I know you and I have a different approach of things. Like, I bring people to my page from ads. So I already
yeah,
know that they're needing what I have to offer, or they're attracted to one of my posts or something like that. So when I'm messaging these people, they already have a connection with me. So
yeah,
my cold DMs aren't really cold DMs. It's just
right?
reaching out back to what they reached out to me for.
Yeah,
But I agree with you. Some people just have that like mental block of, I don't know you, why are you messaging me kind of thing. But then you have to realize what platform you're on. You're on a social media platform. I'm not texting your direct phone number or emailing you. I'm sending
Yeah.
you a message on social media, and you can easily just block me or whatever the case may be. But there are those people that will comment and say like rude things, and it's just like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm just going to go
That's
ahead and move on from that and back to my numbers. Like, it's just once you
exactly
get in that mindset that it's just a numbers game and that you're just trying to find your people and your niche. Once you feel that vibe from somebody, and I talk about vibes a lot on my page because it's true, you can feel people's energy from a 2 sentence conversation, or you can feel someone's energy by their comments on your page. But once you find like a good energy of the people you want to talk to and you want those people around you, it makes the job easy because there's way more of those than the negative Nancy's in the world. So
right,
the numbers
exactly. That's
are just
what
going
I
to keep
love.
flowing.
Right? That's what I love.
Right.
It's like, but it's really easy when you're playing the numbers game that 1 out of 100 just messes with your head. Where right? Where it's like,
It could.
"Oh, this whole strategy isn't working."
Yeah.
Like, "Ah," just because one person was like,
Negative.
"Why did you ask that?" I'm like, "'Cause you responded to an ad, that's why." You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
You
I
responded to
feel like
my
some
ad, so what the heck? Why are you getting all like,
yeah,
"Whoa, whoa," like crazy on
I
me?
know. But that's the other piece to it too, is like it brings us to people like how you and I met. You didn't come in off of an ad. I don't even know how we met, but we were attracted to one of each other's posts and we started talking. Like that's
Yeah,
literally how this industry works is
yeah,
you're social, you're building a social environment, you're setting your goals, you're reaching them, you just keep your momentum and your flow. And
yeah.
that's what keeps everything flowing in this business. It's seriously a no-brainer. That's all I gotta
Right?
say.
And like one strategy will work for one person to accomplish your goals because everybody's got a different kind of goal for different reasons. Okay, maybe you all
Right.
want to make, maybe everybody wants to make $10,000 a month. You know, maybe that's what everybody wants, but for different reasons, right?
Mm,
Like, and because that's what your energy aligns with, that's what you want to do. So when you have your goal, then when you reverse engineer your actions, your thoughts, and your beliefs from that, for that, that's where things look different for every single person. And
right.
but it's still having this underlying, and this is where I like tie like goal setting to also how it is very similar to manifesting, where it's basically and thought work of like psychology, um, where it's like you set your goals and then you ask yourself, okay, what needs to be accomplished? What actions do I need to accomplish to reach that goal? Okay, so what beliefs and what thoughts do I need to have in order to take those actions that will then lead to those beliefs? And so it's the same thing in goal setting with whatever business. Like, okay, I want to make, let's say, you want to sell like $10,000 worth of water systems this month. Maybe that's really low. Maybe that's really high. I don't know.
Mhm.
But let's just say, and then you're like, okay, in order to do that, I got to reach out to 26 people a day. Okay, so what are the thoughts that I need to have in order to make that happen? Well, you got to believe that there are people out there who really do want to change how they consume. They really want to
Right.
change all the things, right? And you believe that there is an abundance of people out there just waiting for you to reach out to them,
Your
right?
energy, that's part of your energy. You put it
Right?
out there,
And
it's
that's
gonna come back to
exactly
you.
yeah. And so, I don't know, I've always found that a lot easier to work with than numbers and just hitting pure numbers because I still at the end of the day, people are people, that they're not numbers. And
True.
so like for me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna connect with 100 people a day, you know? Instead of I'm going to hit 100 today. You know, like it's just a
Right.
different vibe in that. Whereas like I'm gonna
Yes.
connect with people with 100 people versus like I'm gonna send out 100 DMs today. That just seems soulless and meaningless to me, you know,
Right.
whereas
And see, my thing is I don't really count. I just send a bunch of messages to people that I'm attracted to and I love their pages and I love their energy. And most of the time, I probably don't even hit 26 or 20, but it's just what my energy is pulling. I'm not going to be like, "Ugh, I only made 25. I have to do one more." I'm not going to put that
Right?
energy out there. If I put that energy like, oh, this is forced, then nothing's going to
Yeah.
come back because that's energy that is blocking what you deserve.
And it
So
really
I
takes
agree with
away
you.
the gratefulness of what you have, like, um,
Right.
right?
Bird just
Like
flew in front of my face.
that, because it's always like the energy of lack is like, oh, I never have enough. I didn't reach. I have to hit 26, 24 just isn't enough, you know?
Yep.
And and it's out of that lack that your energy is really felt, and just ends up repelling people instead of attracting people anyways, right? So
Right. I'm gonna bring a book over here that I think people should read because it's good.
cool.
Two of them. Okay. Since we're talking about this, I'm in my room, so I had to bring the book out. This is a really good book.
Let me see if it's in my library.
Oh,
Levels of
it's,
energy.
it's called Levels of Energy, and it's by Frederick Dodson. It is so freaking good. I've read it a couple times, and then the other one is Becoming Supernatural.
Oh, yeah. I've read it
Obviously,
twice now. My friend finally bought it for me. I love Dispenza, Joe Dispenza stuff.
yeah,
Um, what of his first book is like what is it?
uh,
Breaking the Habit of Being You, I think it's called.
I think
Um,
so too.
so good, like so
So
good.
good.
And that's where
Yeah,
the thought work stuff comes in into like reprogramming your mind into reprogramming your reality.
it's so
Um,
good.
so good. You don't think of these things as like necessarily sales and sales and marketing books, but they are.
Right. And it seriously is just like these books have literally changed the way that I see things and understand the words that come out of my mouth and how it reflects on me and how it attracts things to me. So like if you're ever like curious about what the hell these people are talking about, start with one of these books and you'll be like, wow, this is insane.
Wow.
Because that's how I felt.
I always say, like, don't start with doing a Joe Dispenza meditation. If you've never done a meditation before,
Right.
he'll probably
Right.
really turn you off.
Yep.
So read the book first.
Yeah. I think isn't he the one where one of his meditations is like he like repeats the same word over and over again. You're like, what the fuck is
And it's like
happening?
the space, imagine the
The
space,
space, the space, the
change your
space.
eyes in the space. I'm like, I don't know what the
Yes,
fuck it means. My
that's so
eyes
true. Because I
floating in
remember
space. I don't
I
understand. Then I read the book and now I
I
understand.
did one of these classes. Yeah, I did one of these classes that's a part of. So our business comes with an academy that teaches you literally everything in the business. So if you're ever wondering how the hell I learned or I grasped any of this stuff, we actually have academy that teaches you everything, and it's super fun and easy. But one of our classes in there was around energy, and we had this lady who specializes in energy, and she put on one of his meditations and she's like, okay, I'm just going to warn you that it is a little out there, so try to not let it bother you. That's part of the meditation. And it was one of his before I read the book, so I was like, that's a little strange, but then I read the book and was like, it makes sense now. Oh, I love it.
I
Thank you
did
so
have
much,
a
Chaz.
remarkable,
I
like,
love our laughs and our chats. We're so like in alignment with that. It's perfect.
yes, totally, totally. And in our love of books and the choice of our books. So I'm very excited to go get the Levels of Energy one.
Yes, please
I know.
start it and
Yeah.
let me know what you think. I'm gonna reread it again because it's
Okay.
just so good.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to talk goals more, if you want to talk about like changing your thoughts, you want to talk marketing, please reach out if you're watching this. We're here for you.
Yes, to either of us. Any of my people on my feed, please reach out to Taz. She's an amazing person. She helps with all business things. If you have questions, you want to ask her something, please shoot her a message. She's seriously the most down to earth person you'll ever meet. All right. Thank
Okay.
you so much,
Love
Chaz. I
you.
appreciate it.
Have a good
Bye,
day.
girl. You
Bye.
too.